what I also think will happen, and this is the other side of the coin, if the league approves this deal and the Jaguars stay put, I don't think anybody's moving to London. And I'm not sure anybody ever was. I was told several years ago that if Hahn really wanted to move the Jaguars there, the league would let him. Who knows if that would have ultimately gotten enough votes to become a thing. I don't think anybody moves. I think that the London experience is exactly what I said it would be years ago. It's the little boxes of cereal that came 8 in a pack, shrink wrapped together, little Sugar Pops, little Lucky Charms. Those were probably 2 different competing brands. I can't remember, but it was 8, and you get a little of this, and you get a little of that. And that's what you're going to get in London. You're going to get different teams, different cereals. And hey, that's not bad because there's a chance you get a bad team. I don't want to have bad team play every week. We get to see different teams all the time. It's moving in that direction, and I think that's what it's ultimately going to be. And it'll be a full home schedule, 8 games every year in England, up to 8. They'll throw other European destinations in as well. I think eventually what they're going to have is every team playing at least one international game every season. I feel like that's inevitable. And that gets London the thing that I've been saying for years it's going to have. The shrink wrap collection of small cereal boxes with no team that ever moves. They muse about the possibility of a European division. The commissioner talked about that. But those are always things that just happen to get dusted off when they're in the mode of playing the games in London and Germany. Because what does that do? That generates more interest. Oh, they might have a team here someday. Maybe we should pay attention to this. Oh, they might play a Super Bowl here. You only hear about that during those fairly narrow weeks of the year when the NFL is getting ready to play games in London. We heard about London Super Bowl a few weeks ago because the mayor of London was talking about all the other international events he wants to bring to town, and he mentioned the Super Bowl. But I feel like the NFL knows what it's doing. It dangles just enough of a carrot to try to get more interest from London and get better placement in the newspaper, better placement in the TV broadcast, because even though they fill the stadiums, it still hasn't moved the needle. I had an executive from one of the teams say to me last year, it wasn't a team that played in London last year, I don't think. Maybe it was. I don't know. I can't remember who played in London last year, frankly. But the question was, how long are they going to keep doing this? Because it really isn't resonating in London the way that they thought it would. I know the stadium's full, but it's not taking over. It's not creating a groundswell. It's not getting the kind of media coverage that they had hoped for, that is potentially going to cause the sport to become more and more and more popular. Still money to be made, but it hasn't really infected the UK the way that they had hoped. Now, we've got plenty of loyal viewers who watch PFT Live on Sky Sports Action in the offseason, at Sky Sports NFL during the season, and they love it. They can't get enough of it. And one of the reasons they watch our show religiously is because they want more coverage. They don't get more coverage. The NFL is hoping it gets to the point where there is more coverage than just a random show here or there that talks about the National Football League. So, bottom line, I'll be stunned if a team moves to London anytime soon. Stunned. And throw on top of it all the challenges logistically. I think the commissioner touched on this when he was on with Pat McAfee the Friday of draft week. I've always been concerned that whatever they put in place to try to even out the competitive disadvantages of being in a different country on the other side of an ocean, if that team becomes good, it's going to be like, well, maybe we made it too easy for them. Maybe we need to make it less easy. Maybe we shouldn't give them that much more salary cap space. Maybe we shouldn't give them that much more priority when it comes to drafting players. Because it's not going to be an attractive destination. Think about the usual NFL road trip. You leave Saturday and you're home Sunday night. The usual. I know sometimes it's longer than that. Sometimes teams will stay a whole week on the other side of the country. The road trip for the London team is going to be 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks in the U.S., practicing and living in one specific location. What do you do with your family? And then you have exchange rates and tax rates, and you're going to have guys that just don't want to move to London, period, ever. And it makes it harder to sell the idea of a draft where if you've never left the country, all of a sudden you've been drafted by the team that plays in London. I don't see it happening. Do not see it happening. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.